Welcome to Center Light. Whatever that is. Wow, that was a trip.
Access granted.
Everyone has access. No one has a monopoly on the it of it all. The state of bliss. Tonight's Center of Light is about a very important subject. I have to do something here. Something is not correct. Excuse me. Give me just a second. I forgot to engage Facebook. 1 second. Hello, everyone on YouTube. It's good to see you. Second. All right, there we go. Welcome, everyone. Tonight, we're going to be speaking about a very important subject. If you know someone who is dealing with depression, this is going to be, will be a very powerful moment, provided they are willing and wanting to get out of depression. Tonight is depression. Make it stop. Part 2. I did one a couple years ago. Many people, strangely, unconsciously, enjoy depression. How is that? I'll get to that later. First order of business, if you have not read Homecoming Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, it's a book of hope. It's a book of truth. It's a book of divine power. It's a book of your liberation from a dark night of the soul, or just simply wanting to be liberated, have your soul expand itself into the realms of God, if you will. The link is in this forum, these forums. You can also use that link to go leave some reviews for this bestseller on Amazon. So the link to purchase and the link to give a review are in these forums. Thank you. Hello, KK. Let me see who's here so I can get down to business. I'm still a little rattled from making a big mistake when I came on the air. All right, so tonight we're going to be speaking about depression. Everyone that knows me knows that I'm very big about definitions. Again, please share this. Be it YouTube, be it Facebook, someone you know who has it, someone you're not quite sure, put it on your wall, somehow dress it up to where they're kind of tempted into watching it. It can save their life, truly. And I don't mean just their emotional life. I'm talking about save their physical life from committing suicide. I have lots of information for you. Even if it's you that learns, you may find that you are having superficial levels of depression. Check it out. Maybe you can use this opportunity to arm yourself with information that you could share with others who you may meet or come along to that might have depression. Dark night of the soul, as it's also coined, termed, deemed, called, and that calls for some water. Everyone that knows me knows I'm big on definitions. We cannot deny definitions. It is the basis of our language. It is our language. It helps us to define what telepathy, because it's all in the form of thought. It's just that we have the capability of utterances and grunts and using words to bring out sound as to why we understand the thoughts in another's head. The definition of depression an act of depressing or a state of being depressed, such as a state of feeling sad, low spirits, melancholy, specifically a mood disorder that is marked by varying degrees of sadness, despair, and loneliness, and that is typically accompanied by inactivity, guilt, we're going to get more on that, guilt, loss of concentration, social withdrawal, sleep disturbances, and sometimes suicidal tendencies. I had all of these for 2 years. See also clinical depression, major depression, postpartum depression. Okay, a reduction in activity, amount, quality, or force. A depression in trade, a lowering of physical or mental vitality or functional activity. For those out there who are depressed that may be watching this presentation from afar and not coming into the room, come into the room. Say hi. People here will love you, just like I will. If I'm speaking to you and you are in depression, you do know, don't you? It's not permanent. You know it's just a season, a storm, dark night of the soul, a night of the soul that you are in. So yay, at least you know it's not going to last forever. But when thank you, KK, for that. Somehow my software keeps triggering to friends only versus public. I changed it. So you know it's not going to last forever, but it feels like it's going to last forever when you're in it. I am not laughing at you. I'm laughing because I know what it's like. I do. So depression is no laughing matter. Hello, Kelly. Hello, Rena. Do you want out? If this presentation does not do it for you, send me an email at keithanthonyblanchard@gmail.com or send me a Facebook inbox. You want some one-on-one time with me? I'll jump into the fire and hold your hand at the same time, and we're going to go through it together. I will help you push forward. But you got to go inward, which is upward, forward, toward something. What is that toward you going to? You're going toward yourself. Robert, the Facebook stream should be there now. Check it out. And if you would, Robert, please check it out and give me some confirmation on that. KK, I think it's public now. So let me get down into this presentation. I can relate. It's dark, heavy, a bottomless pit of sadness. Where's your gladness? It's gone. Tonight, myself, as well as some of the videos I'm going to play for you, are going to push you. You need a good swift kick in the behind, so to speak. A loving kick to get you kick-started. Sort of like kicking a motorbike. Jumping on the throttle, the starter to get it cranked. You need to get cranked. I hope to crank you up. It's not going to last forever. But it's all about your willingness to want to move out of it. As I said just a bit ago, many people, you don't have to believe me, you can see it for yourself. Many people stay in depression because on levels they may not even understand that they're doing it, they like it. How is such a thing like that possible? Well, I'm looking for something. One moment. It's because, let's say someone is depressed because of a relationship breakup. And because of said relationship breakup, the whole world was invested in it. Now they're getting no more attention. You see where I'm going with this? If this applies to you, don't be butthurt. Because I got some baby powder to put on your butt. Some Johnson & Johnsons. Don't be butt tender. It's not necessary. Time to get honest. Time to get real with ourselves. I had to get real with myself. It's going to push you. It's meant to push you. It's meant to push you very intensely. To get you, sometimes it takes a serious push or tug, if you will, to get you from out of the hole. It took that for me. I was farthest from my soul, and I couldn't see nothing. Some people want out immediately and don't know how. Hello, I'm glad you're here. Some people are viewing from afar or in the future. They understand everything I'm going to say. They just won't act. Again, many people do it for the attention. The same with any sort of disease or sickness. A lot of people hold on to illnesses for the attention by their loved ones that it brings. You don't believe me? Look closely at said situations. You may find yourself around when some people are sick. This is never about trivializing or making fun or to anyone that has any said condition. Because when this hits home, it feels like the house is collapsing. Your spiritual house has collapsed. There is no more yumminess in your life. What are you going to do? It simply takes your willingness to do something to get anything done ever. Ever. But you must endeavor inward. And that's the last place you want to go, right? I don't want to go inside that mess. You can untangle the snares. You can only untangle it when you go inside and put your hands on it to untie it. But that's the last thing, Keith, I want to do. I know. But it's the first thing you need to do. And you know it. And you're scared. Goddamn right you're scared. I feel you. What do you want? Ask yourself, are you in joy or am I in emotional conflict? Pain. In fact, it's not even a conflict. It's just this empty black hole of nothing. And then we bring that stuff out to the world when we do get out, even after we social distance for a while and you're hanging out with people and people are like, I can't be around you. You're so depressing. Not only you're so depressed, but you're depressing. My friends were like, Keith, are you okay? And they said, I can't be around you. I didn't want to be around myself even. That's what depression is. It's not wanting to be around yourself. So much so that sometimes it gets so deep and dark, people commit suicide. I don't want to live with myself. You might have heard them say, or people say, or the phrase, I can't live with myself. Well, who is this me that is living with a self? That's two. Why have you divided yourself into two? You have to mend yourself, rend yourself from this rend that you've inflicted on yourself. Depression is always about dwelling on emotional pains from the past. Anxiety is fearing the future about emotional pains you think you might get. Bliss is right now. But depression is dwelling on the past and being angry at yourself for it. So depression is anger turned inward. You dated that person when you know you shouldn't have, or you did said thing when you know you shouldn't have, and you got bit, and now you're mad at yourself for it. You keep playing with this ball of yarn, you're going to tangle yourself. You're going to trip and fall into the hole, the dark night of the soul, into the abyss, which seems bottomless, of depression. And it comes, all those two come from grief. Depression, anger turned inward, and grieving. And believing in nothing that represents hope at all. That's where you fall. It's tough once you're in it. But I'm here to help you skin it. You can win it, but you have to want it. You want out of depression? I'll work with you and won't charge you a dime. You can give me a love offering, close your eyes and send me a prayer, a blessing, however you choose. I know what it's like to be in depression, and it is not a wonderful story. In hindsight, you will probably see some years into the future when you're out of this depression, as I told you earlier, which is not going to last forever if you choose. In hindsight, you will look back and it'll be the greatest thing that's ever happened to you. Well, Keith, how can me being depressed many years ago be the greatest thing that's ever happened to you? Because once you're in a state of depression and you launch yourself out, there is a level of momentum that you have gained that you have not had before you had said depression. Because it takes a hell of a strength and momentum and courage to launch yourself out of a dark hole. Try falling into a cave and see how much commitment it takes to get out. Right? So you basically become reborn when you fall into the nonsense of you. The nonsense of you will seem like it's destroying you, but God's plan is always beautiful. It's revealing to you your shadow self so you can see it. And many people are not, it's not necessary right now that they come out of depression. They're supposed to be in it. They're supposed to be in it for a while. They're supposed to chew on that stick of gum for a long, long time. Hello, Dolores. They're supposed to be in it for a long time to integrate so they can become great. They have to integrate the nonsense so they can make it malleable. They can play with it on many different levels so they can finally understand it, what got them there, and its value. What is depression's value? For you to see your beautiful self-appreciation. It's truly about appreciating yourself. What is the counter to depression? Self-appreciation. What is the counter to depression? Self-appreciation. What is the counter to depression? It's self-appreciation. When you're depressed, you don't like yourself at all. You definitely don't love yourself. You don't even go as far as liking yourself either. Think about it. Really, really think about it. Hello, Carl Laperouse. My brother, my old drumming brother from Houma, Louisiana, many years ago. Let me check one more thing, please. So depression is a mother. When you're in it, it seems like forever. But you have to want out. How do you get out of depression? Hello, Alex. How do you get out of depression? You go in. Strange, isn't it? In is the way out. Hello, Donnie. Are you in depression? Don't answer too quick. Are you in depression? Are you sure that you're not? Depression comes in many different levels. Some people are simply happy, but they're being depressed. Something's holding them down. Could be the system. Could be your job. Could be your partner. Depression can show up in a number of ways. And when you have a little bit of all of these pressing on you, you may be happy, joyful, but imagine how you can feel, experience, and be, and share when you're completely lofted. Some people are depressed. Some people are depressed. Some people are depressed. And some people are depressed. If you want out, I will help you go into the fire. Into the fire. And together we'll burn it out. Burn out the trash. The garbage heap. Hell. That's where hell comes from. Did you know that? Hell is not this place in the earth where the devil and demons live that you go if you sin too much. That's nonsense. That's fairy tale crap. Hell, biblically, was referred to as a place that they would go to punish people who did wrongdoings. A trash heap. Hell, that's what it was called. And so the term continued on and on and on. Hello, Carolyn Renando. But I'll walk through hell with you. That's where you'll find God. Even Jesus descended into hell, the lower levels of the astral plane. He was there for 3 days. Then he found God. And if we have to follow the master, we got to do the same thing. There is no other way of it. So you have to move into your hell and make love with it. You have to become intimate with your own hellish self. Again, not fun, is it? But there is no other way. Well, Keith, I'm taking medicine. There is no other way. But I got a good doctor and they give me some pretty good stuff. There is no other way. Because not only are you depressed, now the medicine is depressing that by covering it with this blanket. No light is going to shine through. You're just going to be numb and dumbfounded. You're going to find yourself in this drugged, non-existent, which seems like forever, dread, gravity of time. Kelly Curtis says, it forces you to look at what for you to that place. It forces you to look at, Kelly, I'm sorry, I couldn't read it. It forces you to look at what for, I guess what she's saying is it forces you to look at what brought you to that place. Yeah, because before, why are you there now? And she continues, and however you deal with whatever is bothering you, yeah, it'll just sit there. You might be distracted from it. There we go. I'm getting used to a few things. We're going to continue with our presentation on depression. 1 second. All right. Let me look at my notes. There's a lot. We're going to watch some videos of some high-level spiritual teachers that I love. They touch my heart. They bring me through any level of depression, though I am not depressed whatsoever. But there are levels of all of us that can use some lifting. And these beings lift me greatly. Again, you do know that your depression is temporary, right? You got to be careful. You stay in it too long, suicide looks a little tempting. I am going to drop a link right here, right now. On both forums that I did a few years ago called Suicide Control, which is about depression to the level of one wanting to commit suicide. So let me drop this in these forum. I don't understand. Donnie Kirby says, you have to go to his page to watch the video. Got notification, but won't ever pull up. I don't understand. Wow, this is strange. KK, if you're still here, would you go to my Facebook personal wall and see if this video is there? You're so sweet. I love you for it. Carolyn Renando says, Inferno is not what I had in mind. Well, it's definitely going to take the light of God to bring us out of these situations that bring us to a space of absolute no joy. God is joy. So, and fire, divine fire. I don't know how you meant it, Carolyn, but that just came out. So thank you for your stimulation, your inspiration. So looking more at my notes as we continue down this path of helping you heal any level of depression you may be carrying, but I'm truly targeting those who are living in the dark night of the soul. Depression is dwelling on the past and its emotional hurts, while anxiety is fearing the future and the more emotional hurting that one fears can come. A wise saint was asked, "What is anger?" He gave a beautiful answer. "It is a punishment we give to ourselves for someone else's mistake." Thank you, Donnie. I sat with my anger long enough until she told me her real name was grief. I sat with my anger long enough until she told me her real name was grief, which leads to depression, which is anger turned inward. Grief is depression. Depression is anger turned inward, pointed at oneself. In depression, in a dark night of the soul, there is only one feeling that is ever present, and it's constant. You know what that feeling is. I don't have to tell you. You know what it is. It's emptiness. Complete and utter emptiness. And the counter to depression is self-appreciation. Because when you appreciate, like money, it goes up in value. You go up in value. You go up, up, up. The metaphor for up, God, heaven, bliss, joy, lifting out of the dark swamp, the dark hole. Dark night of the soul. Someone says, that's Kelly. She says, I am not afraid to be transparent. I went through depression after being raped to the point I almost took my life. Someone was sent to me to help me out of a church cult. And I began to get out of my depression. God bless you, dear. Now I'm going to play you a couple of videos by Shunyamurti, spiritual teacher. He's there. He's in the garden. You can see it. He's not in a hurry. He's not here to pamper you. He's here to lay it out. Take it in. Listen. Hearing is wonderful, but listening is very important. More so than listening, than hearing. Do you hear me? Do you want out of your depression? I will help you. Whether you get it from this video, whether you contact me in a Facebook inbox, leave me a message here that you're needing help. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask for help. You don't have to be embarrassed or ashamed of yourself or anything like that. Do you want it? Do you want out? Or are you liking the attention that you're getting because of it a little too much? Very important question you need to ask yourself. Because if you're listening to this presentation and you have depression and you don't know how to get out, but you want to, and you don't contact me, You are liking it just a little bit too much. But warning, heed, if you contact me, be ready and willing to jump into the fire. Because once we start, I'm going to grab your hand and pull you in it. And I will be so straightforward, honest with you, because I'm not here to pat you on your back. I'm here to kick in your pants in a very loving way. Depression. It's not fun. Shunyamurti on depression. One moment.
Depression comes from that feeling that one will never get the approval, the confirmation, the affirmation of one's being from the other. And the woundedness of having felt not only unloved, but unworthy of love, that manifests as an inner agony and projects its own reiterations in ongoing relationships that succeed the traumatic imposition of that belief system. And so depression today, because of the nature of the pathologies of the family systems, is an epidemic. Nearly everyone is depressed and lonely and feeling abandoned in a world that is loveless, and feeling that there is no one to trust, no one to be able to connect with, and no ability to connect because of one's own fear of opening up again and again, being devastated by projective missiles of non-love that are put into one by others who require a scapegoat. And so this fear of relationship has caused the hopelessness. There is no love on this plane. There is no possibility of relationship that is sustainable. And that illusion of the romantic finding of one's other half is so palpably sad for the ego that it must run away from itself, from this unbearable affect of abandonment, depression, into kinds of jouissance like drug taking, alcohol, all of the other ways in which one tries to forget one's having been cursed with lovelessness. And so that creates a kind of shadowy energy field that attracts even more depressive circumstances and scenarios to recur. And one is trapped in a hell realm of darkness and of futility and hopelessness. But then there is also this realization that one's own ego is an imposter. It's unreal. Its feelings are unreal. It has designed itself to receive approbation from the other rather than being true to itself. And therefore its anxiety is its own lack of being, its lack of truth, its lack of essence. And yet it is afraid of letting go of this veil of imposterhood because it feels there is nothing behind it. And one would, in fact, die. One could do nothing else but commit suicide because of the unbearable emptiness. These are the phantasms that are occupying the unconscious mind, if not the conscious, of most egos today. And because of the traumas that are fixated patterns of thought and affect and behavior that are all linked in the unconscious, they produce a kind of ongoing repetition of the trauma at micro moments and macro scenarios that keep it from being able to escape the gravity of these two monstrous feelings of depression and anxiety and enter into a different kind of relationship to reality that enables detachment and disidentification and the realization that there is, in fact, something more. But to get there, one will have to be less. One will have to be dead to the ego, not the body, not the phenomenal plane, but to the ego's misunderstanding of that plane. And it's taking it for reality rather than the simulation that it is. Once it's free of that miscognition, then it is able to transcend the plane of illusion and realize again the omniscient, omnipresent, omniloving nature of God that is our real essence. Depends on who you ask, because this is a concept that has arisen in Christianity most famously, but it has its counterparts in other traditions, but with slightly different nuances. But the way that we would most often refer to it would be to that moment when the naivete of the ego that lives in a state of naive realism understands that its view of reality was way oversimplistic and that nothing it believed in any longer makes sense. Nothing that it felt was real. Nothing was valid. Its memories, its nostalgia, its longings for something in the past have no basis in reality. They were airbrushed memories to enable the imaginary level of the ego to cope with its tragic condition. And when all of that gets stripped away, one is in the darkness of a night of unknowing. This is what Robert Anton Wilson called chapel perilous. When you've lost all your landmarks and you are in literally a night in which there is no way of knowing what is true. You have left one shore of the imaginary ego, but you haven't yet reached the next shore. You don't even know there is another shore. So it is sometimes called a night sea journey. You're out in the darkness and you're on some ride, but you don't control it. You don't control the winds, you don't control the waves, you don't control anything that occurs to you. And you don't know if something that's happening to you is a blessing or a curse. You have no way of calibrating any of the events in your life. And your mind is absolutely inadequate to try to comprehend or make sense out of in any way what is occurring. And any effort to do that will quickly be seen as a false effort to try to hold on to something that will just fall away in your hands and will prove to be yet another illusion. And usually one has to go through this process of one illusion after another falling away until there is nothing left to believe in or hold on to. And it's at that point that one will be able to see the dawn arising of a new world, a new reality, a new capacity, not based in the ego, because that must be the last thing that falls away in this dark night. And then the ego is recognized that it was the darkness of the night. And as it dies, the light appears, and that light is the real self. Journey is not over, but now there is a clear path and a clear origin and source toward which the consciousness is being drawn. And more information will then come in through these rays of light that will awaken and enable the capacity to not only navigate and cope with this, but to transcend the illusion itself. All of this has been mapped out, but the map doesn't help until you're in the territory.
Welcome back to Center of Light. We're speaking about depression. The mind is not clear, hence the depression. You have to bring yourself to a space of clarity. As I said a bit ago, in is the way out. You have to go into the fire, to the nonsense, and burn it all away. And everyone has
access granted.
Everyone has access to this kingdom. Again, the question I pose, not trivializing your beautiful, sacred, dark night of the soul situation. I'm asking you simply, do you want out of your depression? Knowing I'm offering this to you for free, if you want out and this video does not help you, or to whatever level this video helps you, but you want to learn more because you're hungry and you want out of the hole, if you don't contact me, you're lacking the attention that your depression is getting you. It's a very honest question and statement. If it butt tenders you, here's some ointment. I'm laughing, not at you. I'm trying to make light of a bad situation. Your situation is bad. If you're feeling bad, then the only word you can use to describe what's happening to you is bad. Do you want out? In is the way out. I'll take your hand and walk you into the fire myself. We got to get real. We got to get honest. I won't take any bullshit because I'll see it. The more you try to hide it, the more you reveal it, which is beautiful because the more I'm able to see it, the more I can pinpoint and or target the thing or things that you are not able to see. Why? Because I'm clear. Not as I'd like to be, but I am clear. I'm going to play you another video now by Sadhguru. Sadhguru means earthly saint. This man has awareness on 12 dimensions of reality. It's a fact. You don't have to believe me. You can call it practical wisdom. It doesn't matter to me. Take it in. In is the way out. I may have some video. Something happened. I may have to reload his video, so just bear with me. I'm not sure if I have to, but if I do, just hang in. It takes a matter of seconds. So here is Sadhguru. See you shortly. In is the way out. In is the way out. It's the last thing I want to do, Keith, but it's the first thing that you need to do. You. It's all about you. Your whole life is about you. It's okay to be selfish. And until you're selfish, you can never give yourself away. You have to be full of you. You have to be you, so you that you are full to where it's outpouring. You can't even contain it. You can't contain you. You're so full of you, you can't contain it. Now you can only give it away. But you got to give it to yourself first. Let me see if this video is going to play. If not, it'll take me 10 seconds. I'll see you in a bit. Your love beyond measure. Believe it.
You are capable of causing depression to yourself. I'm saying this not without any concern for your illness or not due to lack of compassion, because that is the nature of what's happening to you. If you're causing depression to yourself, you are able to generate substantial amount of intense emotions and thoughts, but in the wrong direction. If you don't have very strong emotions, very intense thoughts about something, you cannot get depressed. It is just that you are generating thoughts and emotion which work against you, not for you. So you are strong enough to cause depression to yourself because for you to cause a mental illness for yourself, unless you're pathologically ill, which is just a small number of people, rest are all self-created. Most of them are self-created. A few are pathologically ill, they cannot help it. It just comes from within because of genetic and other factors. Almost everybody here, if we train them towards a certain kind of thought process and emotion and push them a little bit with the outside situations, almost everybody will go lose their mental balance. They will become clinically ill. They can be driven to madness, I'm saying, because the line between sanity and insanity is very thin. People keep pushing it. You get angry, you're pushing the line. It's a thin line. In fact, when you get angry, you know you're pushing the line. That's why the expression, "I was mad at somebody." You're not mad at somebody, you're just going mad. You cannot be mad at somebody. You're just pushing your sanity, the boundaries of sanity, and moving into insanity for a certain period of time and coming back. You do one thing every day, you try this. 10 minutes a day, try intense anger on somebody. What? You will see in 3 months' time, you will be clinically there. Yes. Just try it if you want. Because if you keep pushing the line, you go mad and you come back, you go mad and you come back, one day you're not able to come back, that's all. One day you're not able to turn back, then you're clinically ill. You must understand, even if you got angry for a moment, you're already ill. Maybe you don't get the certificate of diagnosis. They don't slap a certificate on you that you're gone, but you are going, isn't it? You think it's your right to throw tantrums, you think it's your right to get angry with people, you think it's your privilege to be depressed so that you'll get attention from somebody. You keep playing this, one day you will not be able to turn back. Keep crossing the line every day, one day you will see you cannot cross back. That day, you need a doctor. Till then, everybody needed a respite from you, but the day you can't cross back, they get the respite because now they can catch you and give you to a doctor. Otherwise, you're temporarily going mad every day, many times a day. They cannot even send you to an asylum, they have to bear with you, your family, your friends, your people around you. If you get at least truly clinically ill, we can hand you over. There's one temple in Tamil Nadu, you know, where they chain you and keep you. Where there's no hospital, no psychological for ailments, there's no hospital. There is a temple that somebody created which is supposed to push people back into sanity. So, families just take them and leave them there, they're shackled and left in the temple. You give them some money, they'll feed you, and you're just there like an animal, tied up. I think if hospitals were run like this, a lot of people wouldn't go crazy. They would maintain their sanity. Right now it's too deluxe. If you make hospital extremely comfortable, it'll become an incentive to become sick. And you have incentives in your life to become ill, right from your childhood. You got the maximum attention only when you fell ill. When you are happy, they screamed at you. When you squealed in joy, They scream back at you, adults. You… then boo-boo, 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 boo-boo. When you are a child, physical illness is good because you'll get attention from your mother and father and everybody around you, and you don't have to go to school on that day. So you learn the art of falling physically ill. But once you get married, you learn the art of becoming mentally ill. Because if you want to get attention, you go sit in a corner, act depressed, people will pay attention to you. So you keep playing this game, one day you're not able to cross the line back. That day, you're clinically ill. Unfortunately, in many ways, not just in the way that I said now, in many different ways, I would say 70% of illnesses on the planet, all kinds, are self-created. Even if you get an infection, there is a way. If you keep yourself in a certain way, physically and mentally, the virus and the bacteria will not work the same way as it works upon somebody else. If you set yourself like this, no matter what's happening, anyway, I have to go and do this, this and this. There's no break from that. The last 29 years, I have not been able to cancel one program because I'm running temperature, I got a cold, I got this, I got that. It doesn't matter what's happening, what you have to do, you anyway have to do. You can't turn back on that. Either out of your commitment or you have a boss like that. One way or the other, if it happens, then you will see, you will not at all fall sick so often. Because if you have temperature, you still have to go. If it's summer, you still go, right? Now, a lot of people don't go. It's a little hot outside, they don't go and work. Little cold outside, they don't go and work. A little raining, they won't go and work. A snowflake, they will not go and work. This is just weather. So for every change in weather, if you have the comfort of covering yourself in a blanket and lying down, once you create that, your body will learn to fall sick as often as possible. If you just keep it this way, it doesn't matter what it is, anyway I have to go and do what I have to do, you will see your body will just bounce back as quickly as possible, even if it gets the worst kind of infections. So you just have to set the necessary conditions for health, necessary incentives for health, both for yourself and your children if you have them. Do not set incentives for sickness. The child is sick, observe him from a distance, never go cuddle him. He knows that's the worst time of his life and he knows he has to get well soon. And give him the best attention when he is joyful. You will see he naturally learns from within. His very chemistry will learn that it pays to be joyful, it doesn't pay to be sick. If you make this very clear to your own biology, to your own chemistry and to everybody around you, you will see people will not fall sick as often as they are right now. So set that up for yourself. You will see you will get healthy. If you can turn your mind this way, you can also turn it this way. I want you to understand this. No, I'm like this because my father abused me when I was 7 years of age. If you know all that bullshit, you can as well turn yourself around, isn't it? It's time. You must understand, mentally, physiologically, chemically, energy-wise, you must clearly understand it doesn't pay to be sick, unhappy, depressed. It doesn't pay. To be joyful and ecstatic, it pays. If you make this clear to all these people inside, they will all behave properly.
Welcome back to Center of Light. It's pulsing. The light is pulsing. It's calling you to a space, hopefully, of clarity. Let's recap of what's going on, of what I've shared a little earlier. Depression is not permanent. You're doing good already, and you did nothing at all. It's not permanent, and you know it. It may seem like it's lasting forever. That's just the illusion. The patterns of the mind and the thinking. In is the way out. You do that by going inward, which is upward, which is forward, which is toward the new you, the new possibility of you. I'm going to say it again because though I may not know you, I do know you because we are related. You cosmic sibling. I love you beyond measure. I want you to be happy beyond words can ever explain. But let me explain something to you. You have to want. I don't mean lack, want. I mean want, willing, ready, capable, able to move and bring to the table something new. And that something new is all about you. You. What do you want? What do you want now? Do you want more dismay, troublesome, dark night of the soul? You beautiful soul that you are, what do you want? If you truly want out, you have to go within. And you may not know how to do that. Contact me in this forum, Facebook inbox me, YouTube me, or send me an email at keithanthonyblanchard.com. keithanthonyblanchard@gmail.com. I won't charge you anything. You can give me a love offering, be it a money gift, a prayer gift. In fact, I don't even require that. But do you want to acquire that which I've been sharing for the last hour? This is your moment. This is your power. Do you want it? Let's go over some of the things that these master, keyword, truly, capital letter, master spiritual teachers have brought forth. Shunyamurti says, depression feels like being cursed with lovelessness. He also said depression is a veil of imposterhood. You're lying to yourself. The depression is not lying to you. The depression is the result of you or one lying to themselves. And depression happens from fixed patterns of nonsensical thinking. Sadhguru, the Indian saint you saw a minute ago, says, depression, it's going to hurt. It's going to make you butt tender. Here's your ointment, your salve, your tincture, your Band-Aid. Depression is when you begin to push the thin line of sanity. You keep pushing it. Because sanity means I'm accepting that which is sane to me. Insanity is tempting, jacking around with things that are not real. Callan Renando says it begins from not allowing others to love you totally because you forgot how to love yourself. Thank you, Carolyn. Sadhguru continues, as a child, when we are happy and bouncing around, they, parents, people, scream at us. But when we are ill, we get the attention. This becomes amalgamated, integrated into the matrix, the infrastructure, the inner structure of who we are, so that we know that we're trying to play this system. Well, when I'm happy, I get yelled at. But when I'm miserable, people love me. Hell, I love people loving me, and I use that word hell on purpose because it is hell when you're in depression. I love when people love me. As a child, when you're happy and bouncing around, people scream at you. So again, Shunyamurti, depression is the feeling of being cursed with lovelessness. Continue with Sadhguru. When you're borderlining depression, what's happening is you go mad and you come back. You go mad and you come back. But depression kicks in one day when you go mad and you just can't come back. He also says, if you can turn your mind this way to bring you to a state of mental illness, depression, you are the being that has the free will that can simply choose to turn your mind this way. Do you not? But we're continually fixated and focused, as Shunyamurti said, which depression happens from fixated patterns. Well, Keith, I don't know how to get out of this fixation of mine. Yes, you do. And you may be like, huh? You do. Because I've said 3 times tonight, all you have to do is contact me. And I will help you get out of your fixation of the mind, the monkey, who wants his banana. Give him his banana. Then the mind gets quiet. Because the monkey's quiet. I will help you. Not because you're broken. I will help you because I love you. Finally, Sadhguru says, you are not mad at somebody. You can't get mad at somebody. What is happening is you are just simply going mad. Simply going mad. Dolores says, yes, it does. I'm experiencing this from a family member. They learned sickness, got them attention and love. It is not necessary. They are loved, but do not know this. Well, that is the situation of depression. But going back to my last comment about from Sadhguru is, you are not mad at somebody. You can't get mad at somebody. What's really happening is you're simply just going mad. If you want out of your depression, your brother who loves you is here. It's going to require a few things from you, my dear. One is your willingness. Until then, nothing happens. Nothing. 2, you may want out, but don't know how. I hear you. That's honest. What a fantastic, powerful start that you have for being honest and powerful. I will help you. 3rd, as I said earlier, Shunyamurti and Sadhguru said as well, many people like being depressed. They don't like being depressed. This is operating on levels that they are unconscious of, because if they were conscious, they would simply not be depressed in the first place. I'm not making fun of your lack of said, quote, consciousness. I'm saying that your inability of clarity has put you in a situation. And if you want out, but many people like the attention they get. Look around. Look in and out, all around and all about, and you will see it. Those people who are ill, and I will give you an illustration. Hello, Facebook. Hello, whoever. I just got diagnosed with whatever. I get it. They're scared. And they're asking for prayer warriors because they're scared. Little do they realize they're seeking and eking out attention, as I've mentioned many times. So when someone gets ill and they post it on social media, everyone says, I'm praying for you, I'm praying for you, and I'm praying for you. That's a beautiful possibility. But are we quite so sure that in I'm praying for you is the thing that needs to happen to bring one back into physical, mental, or spiritual balance? Because remember, if you have 10 people to build a house, it'll take however long. You have 20 people building your house, it'll take less time. So when you have 100 people supporting you in your illness, you are inviting, exciting the web of the universe to say, you goddamn right, you are sick. Be careful when you play with dynamite. Your life can blow up really quick. Do you see? You want out? Go in. I'm here to help you. Not because you're broken, but because I love you. If you are depressed, it's not what or who you are. You're not depressed. You're feeling depression. How is the world's thumb on you? Is it just a little? Everybody, I think, I wouldn't say everybody, but most of humanity has a little bit of a thumb pushing them down. The man, the system, parents, loved ones, lover, job. So many people have many different forms of depression. But I'm speaking directly to those that I'm trying to guide and give inspiration. Depression, it's a dark hole, a dark night of the soul. And in this place, you will not find any gold. There is no value there. So it feels like. Again, before closing, depression, and the counter to depression is self-appreciation. The sooner and how much you appreciate yourself, the sooner and how quick you will realize with your real eyes, as you see when you could not see before, the you that you truly adore. And in so doing, you, my cosmic brother or sister, who is loved beyond measure, lift out of depression. I hope I left a hell of an impression or a heaven of an impression on you tonight. If not, contact me. I want you to be blissful, joyful. But before I can do that, you have to want it. I'm tired. Goddamn right you're tired. You're freaking tired as hell. Because all of your energies go nowhere. In fact, you don't want to even exert because you have no energy. No one loves you, so it feels like. So let me offer this to you. I love you. As an empath, when you're in trouble, as a brother, I am in trouble. When you're joyful, it brings tears to my eyes. Like it's doing now, and I'm holding them back. But don't hold back. Step inward, because it is the way out. Inward is upward, which is forward, which is toward the brand new, beautiful you. If you need me, find me. I am here. I understand you. I was there for 2 years, and it sucked. Nurse the teat that I've given you tonight. Think about it. Hear it. Listen. Take it in. Integrate. Graduate. Appreciate. And you will find yourself healed. Stop picking at your life scab. Here's my life, and it shows up as a scab on my arm, and I want to just keep picking at it. I get it. It's because it's irritating. It irritates, and you are irritated. Stop picking at life's scabs. For God's sakes, the scab is trying to heal. Sometimes it requires us all to simply kneel and say, I forgive myself. I love myself. I appreciate myself. Forgive myself. I love myself. I appreciate myself. Who is this self that you love and appreciate and forgive? When you discover that, my friend, you will no longer feel dead inside, dark night of the soul, and finally, you will live. You, my friend, at least by me, a love beyond I can even possibly tell you. Season, peace, love, and always live in the light. When I say live in the light, it's not a place you need to be. You need to live in yourself because you are the light. And in all delight, I say to you, good night.